All right, so let's take a look at how we can add some help in styling our page. If you're not familiar with CSS, it's used to essentially there are cascading style sheets used to style your page, add color, buttons. You can even do some animations and stuff like that if you incorporate the um, different packages that exist. We're going to be using a really nice package called Bootstrap. And let me pause the video and just go to their website. So here we are on the Get Bootstrap site, and you could see, like, if you go to their Get Started page, it sort of explains to you how to link it within your page and all that good stuff. We're actually going to be doing it a little bit differently. We're going to be installing it directly in our project using our Node Package Manager. But what's nice about this is you can see it's got all this cool stuff that you can look at, like different types of form controls. They show you examples, and they give you the code below it. And you could see, again, really nice, responsive, good stuff. All right, so let's go back to our project for a second. And just down here, what I want to do is, and you want to make sure you're in your initial console or it will not quit your app. So you want to hit Control C here, and that's going to kick you out. And then what we're going to do is type npm install -- save, because we're going to save this locally, Bootstrap. And I think the current version is at 4. So at 4, and then you're going to hit enter. And I'm going to pause the video and let it run through its install. And we found 0 vulnerabilities and all that good stuff. And the command, if you need to see it again, I'll just kind of scroll up here a little bit. Let's see if I could find that. Here we go. npm install save bootstrap. Now, this is okay because I have some files that are kind of overlapping my warning. So you probably won't have that. And if you do, shoot me a message. I'll show you, or we'll talk about in class, the sudo stuff. All right, so here we are. Now, what I would like to do is I want to include this into my Angular file, because right now Angular doesn't know that that this exists, right? So let's go over to our Angular file, which is this angular.json, and this is where we would add all of this good stuff. And we're going to be looking for the styles section. So what I generally do is inside of here, I'm just going to type in style, and you can see here's styles. And this is going to come in useful later. You can see there's actually a replace. We're not going to need that now, but this is important. Because a lot of times when you're adding packages, instead of having to type it out, there's a couple of nice, neat features that's going to help us out a lot. So for one, if I want to copy a line of code, I can actually hold Shift and Alt and just push my down arrow. Then I'm going to put a comma here, and I'm going to hit Control S to save that. Now, the way you grab your the location of the new style sheet. So this, I guess I should do a little bit of clarification. This styles source.styles here that's inside this Angular folder actually refers to this right here, which is located in our source folder, and it's down here. Now, as this mentions here, you can use this file to style your entire page. So if you want the background of every single page to be black, you can add a background tag in here. We'll do a little bit of that, but for now, we're going to be using Bootstrap to do most of that, and we're going to load it directly into this page, and I'll show you A, how to do that, and B, like how to check if it actually works. So let's go back to our Angular JSON file, and what I want to do is I want to replace this stuff in here with my Bootstrap. So I'm going to go to Node Modules here, and I'm going to go all the way down until I find Bootstrap, which is located here. It's under dist CSS, and I'm looking actually for the Bootstrap, not the full, just the min, which is this right here. So if I right click on this and it says copy path, copy relative path, well, let's see what that does. So if I click on that and I go back here and I just paste that inside of here, you can see it gives me a relative path. But the problem is I get an error because these slashes are facing the wrong way. Another thing is I don't want to go to the cell art folder. I want to go right into Node Modules here. So how do I fix this? Well, I'm going to hit Control and F to do my find, and I'm just going to type in /. Now notice, I'm sorry, I'm going to type in \. Notice it only found these. And to make our lives easier, I'm just going to go with replace with a /. And if I press enter, notice it goes one by one, replacing it until I can't replace it anymore. And that's great. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Control S. Now remember we hit Control C on our initial PowerShell to run this. So I'm going to do ng serve, and I'm going to hit enter. And that's going to run our application again in that other window. Now I want to show you something. if how you can check if your Control C is working or not. If I type in um, here, let me go ahead and just close this for a second. Then I'm going to go in here and go all the way back up. Let me close this for a second. And just right click on this source folder or even anywhere inside of here. And I'm going to go to open an integrated terminal. And I type in ng serve. And what you'll notice is I get this thing where it says port 4200 is already in use. And then I'm going to hit, I'm just going to say, would you like to use a different port? I'm going to hit no and hit enter. So it takes me back. It gives me a little bit of error like, hey, you can't run this again because it's already running. And then if you hit Control C in here, you'll notice you get an error. And the reason for that is because you want to be in your initial node file here in order to stop it. So you might run into that as you're trying to start this. That's kind of the way to go. All right, so let's go back in here and let's see. Let me go ahead and close out our Bootstrap thing here. Let's see how we can find if our what's it called? If it loaded Bootstrap in. So I'm going to right click in here. I'm going to click inspect, and I'm going to open this up. And there's a couple things that you're going to notice. There we go. If we go to sources here, there's a style.css folder. If I look at that, you'll see now at the very top it has Bootstrap 4.53. It shows all of the information. So it did load Bootstrap into that global CSS file, the one that I mentioned here. That's in our sources section. This right here. So it did connect it to that. So we are okay sorry, we're okay moving forward with that. So that's it for installing Bootstrap. In the next video, we'll get back into more coding stuff.